the one led which really, you know, can stand as a foundation stone of rock and roll. And we're very honoured to follow him. And I'm going to throw it another way. Just go there. Here we go. There are others that should be here tonight, you know, wish they could all play the same thing together. Anyway, we're from England, and we're going to play some of our brands. always melodrama, see? For that we get... No, we start off with the birth of the boy and description of the way this is like and so on and so on. Very fairy tale. Pathetic. I knew his dad, he was a traitor. going to be...
There's a number we used to do a very long time ago. We brought up for a show somewhere in this country. And that's just more featured now than when it was written. Quite like some Mose Alice's. We're very fond of. Really dig in. It's another called Blues. We like to make 2 tracks from our other album. Start off with It's a Boy. Really beautiful. And we're not going to take it. When you come into the show, if there's anything we missed from the album, sorry, but we'll try and concentrate the energy into the juicy little lump which we're going to play and get it to mean the same thing. We obviously can't play the whole thing.
Peter Townshend and Roger Daltry, The Who, and welcome from guys.
Good to be here.
I realize you must have had quite a rush getting over.
No, we arrived about 2:30, but we took some.
We got lost.
Wrong exits getting in, and then when we did get in, we kind of caught the rush hour, so we've been a little slowed down.
Well, as a matter of fact, I can't really be terribly upset about you being late, because I'd much rather have you here live so people can talk to you on the rap lines too.
Yeah. That's good.
Than just tape record the whole thing. But anyway, welcome to the States. What is this, your second or third or fourth tour of the States now?
7th.
7th? Wow. Somebody called me the other night and wanted to know which concert to go to tonight, because he was hassled about, there were a number of concerts and he wasn't sure how much money he could afford for how many different concerts, and my immediate advice
I just spoke to someone, spoke to someone that's coming to all 4, so...
Well, the concerts that are going on this weekend are worth it. I told him, I suggested that he go to your concert, because we don't get to see you as often as we get to see a lot of the hometown acts and so forth.
We play in New York practically every time we come in, and we try to appear in as good a venue we can in New York. I think the Fillmore's probably the best for us because we can. I don't know. The problem is with places like the Fillmore is that they've got such a big reputation is that you tend to get very nervous about them, and this affects your performance. I've heard this story from a lot of English acts. They get kind of overawed by the reputation of the club, and so their acts are impaired. You know, sometimes I feel like I'd like to come over and play Madison Square Gardens and.
Well, you've been down places like the Scene for jams and stuff like that, haven't you?
Right. Well, some of our guys are into that.
Mm-hmm.
It's very nice to go and see Jimi Hendrix for nothing.
Quick question. Everybody is excited right now because it's today is the day that Tommy goes into the stores, I understand.
Yeah.
And until today, everybody's only been able to hear him on the air from the stations that had copies. Howard Smith, who writes for the Village Voice and who broadcasts on our station, had a letter that I believe you had written, Peter, explaining about some problems that you had with the topic of the rock opera.
Yeah.
And so forth. Would you explain it for us?
Yeah, well, when Pinball Wizard came out, which was supposed to be like a trailer, really, to the album, it's the strongest track for a single. We kind of got a lot of people upset because of the fact that it was a kind of a song about a deaf, dumb and blind boy. And in England, I started to read a few of the it was mainly in the teen magazines that people were kind of announcing it as the Who's opera with...
As what?
Sick.
As sick.
The Who's opera will soon be out, dealing with questionable material or something. So I quickly panicked and wrote letters to kind of everybody that I could think of, and tried to kind of stop. I mean, we didn't want people to have a preconception to the album that we were leaning on any kind of sensational thing in order to get album sales. I mean, it's not supposed to be a playing on the fact that the boy's deaf, dumb and blind. It's just that the story happens to be about this boy and his life, and the deaf, dumb and blindness is part of the bad side, and there are other things which are a part of the good side.
Right.
I think the problem probably was with the album being so important in understanding the whole story, that Pinball Wizard being taken out as a little clip did tend to give the impression that we were just being kind of sensationalism. And
I mean, musically, it's pretty obviously got to be the track that would make the best 45.
Yeah, right. Well, we felt this as soon as we kind of heard it. We were against releasing it, actually, the Who were, because we felt that we wanted the album to not to pull any punches. But I think we could say now that it's probably done us a lot of good to put out Pinball Wizard. I kind of think that there might still be a few people that won't listen to the album because of Pinball Wizard, because they think it might deal with questionable material or might stop their kids buying the album or something like this. But I think that if they do get a chance to hear the album in full, as they can...
No, we played it in full.
Right, yeah.
I might tell you fellas this. It may be at home you had some hassle that way.
Yeah.
So far, and I have these direct lines into the studios, a lot of people call me, and so far then we've been playing the album. There hasn't one person been concerned in that area whatsoever.
That's good.
They take it exactly as you apparently intended it. Let's listen to the overture. Rock opera, The Who. Babalu here, and we'll be talking to Roger Daltry and Peter Townshend again very shortly. First, however, it came to a rock revival, and I don't mean just the current rock revival. England, not long ago, Britain went through a whole old rock revival, Chuck Berry and the whole scene. And the States are just really going through that now. But at the same time that's happening, there's a whole country thing, partly because of the number of groups that are going to Nashville to record, and partly because Bob Dylan is showing so much country influence in his music and so forth. In Britain, are they at all involved in in quote-unquote American country music, except from American artists or any British artists getting involved in that?
It's starting to get pushed over there. Like the Move, I think they're doing country now, aren't they? They're starting to do country music.
Yeah, what I felt about the English rock revival is that it did help to kind of bring the music of people like Chuck Berry and Bo Diddley to people that weren't brought up on him. But there's nothing like being brought up on him, you know. I mean, it's a bit of a drag to have it thrown back at you. A lot of Chuck Berry stuff can be out of context. It's very nice to see him live and hear him add a few update verses to the end of each chorus, which is what he does.
And step across the stage.
Yeah, and he keeps his songs up to date, you know. Like in the old song, when it was like a 59 Ford, he says 69 Ford or whatever it is, you know. And the other thing is, in this country, the rock revival seems to lean very heavily on a lot of the chart material of the 50s and the late 50s. And I don't think much of that is very good at all.
That's probably not what really influenced the musicians who are writing today.
Not. I mean, the kind of rock that instituted the category rock is Chuck Berry, is Bo Diddley, Jerry Lee Lewis, rhythm and blues musicians like Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, and even Coasters, right? And even country blues musicians. And the country thing is something which doesn't surprise me at all, because I've always loved country music, and particularly the more homegrown country music. I've never been too favourably disposed to kind of
Tin Pan Valley.
No, but I really like. I've always liked bluegrass. Bluegrass to me has always had a kind of an Eastern quality to it, with the banjo banging away with a drone note going, and it seems like a lot of the feeling of it is a rhythmic one. Although it seems very coarse at first, there's a lot of soul in bluegrass music, and that is what is emerging in modern country and western. And like the Burrito Brothers are more of a modern country and western sound. But really all they're doing is they're injecting some fresh enthusiasm into it.
Let me ask you for a current status report on something. Maybe from now on, when people say The Who, the first thing that they'll say is Tommy and the rock opera.
Let's hope so.
But up until now, anytime you said The Who, no matter how fine albums like the Who Sell Out and so forth were, immediately somebody said My Generation. And you guys probably represent an entire generation in Britain of the mod revolution.
Right.
And so forth.
We always tried to do that.
Well, what would you say? What would you say is, it was fixed? What would you say is the state of the mod generation in Britain today? Have they changed?
No, exactly the same. That's the bring down. They really are. Yeah.
Well, we're entitled to play the record now, then.
All our mods have grown up, and then young mods are taken over, but they haven't sort of gone anywhere in their heads.
But mods are still mods.
Yeah.
Right.
And the generation is about the
Rock is a
same.
strong.
Talk directly to people. And they're the people that want to know things. What are they asking you on the rap line?
I mean, it got to
Pardon?
everyone in the end.
What kind of questions are the listeners
They're
asking you on
asking
the
kind
phone?
of things about how long the album took to make, and
no doubt about that.
what we were trying to do with it, where we're playing, when we're coming back, how long we're here.
Well, we've got
Who am I
we've got
talking
a series
to?
of questions.
Who am I talking to?
How long did it take you to make Tommy?
It took us about, from the original conception of the thing, which is something we've wanted to do really ever since we finished Who Sell Out, and ever since we did the mini opera on the Happy Jack album. It was kind of something which the very nature of those two events indicated to us that this is something we wanted to do, was to get an album and have a storyline and have the whole thing tight and musically continuous, and still retain the rock and roll nature of the thing. And we started to think about this probably about 2 years ago.
It's a real interesting question here, because this question may arise out of the differences in the way English is spoken in the States and the way it's spoken in Britain. The same word can mean different things. You call Tommy a rock opera.
Yeah.
Opera, at least at home here, has a very highbrow, elegant feeling about it. When you
It
say
does in
something's an
England
opera.
too.
Do you intend it as such?
we'd never really used the title ourselves for rock opera. It was something which came as a natural development in conversation, because it's not essentially a musical. It's not something which is going to be staged as such. It's not as simple as a musical. It's not, in other words, the ingredients of the songs aren't there to put across a mood or a feeling of an age or a feeling of a society. They're meant to tell a direct story in a literary manner. And of course there are very few real operas that have done this. Most operas have got very shoddy sort of plots.
They end up really musical.
Right. The good thing about opera, of course, is the performances by the singers and the music itself, which is, you know, it's something I'm very fond of, the opera, and our manager too is very fond of the opera. And my favourites are Wagner and Mahler, people like that. And I don't really like Italian opera, which I think is what most people think of when they think of opera, La Traviata and stuff like that.
Because they tend to be the lighter opera.
And Figaro and all that. Yeah, the heavier opera.
To place them next to opera may cause some fun. If you're into Wagner, which is very heavy music, you're also, obviously from your reaction when I asked you about it, both of you, as a matter of fact, into Dylan.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think of his new album?
Well, I don't know whether you've heard a lot of it.
Well, I just heard rough bits of it, and I think it's
Why'd you come in on the mic a little bit, Sid?
a step forward for me, and I really like it.
You don't?
I really do.
Oh, you do really like it?
I really like the way he sings it. It's cool.
Yeah,
Well,
I think it's a natural development for Dylan. I kind of feel that he's...
Well,
he
I
always
used to
does
like
this sort
Johnny
of thing.
Cash a lot, ages and ages ago.
Johnny Cash, wow, yeah.
Well, here's one you picked out from the album.
I did about 7 on our last album. Do you remember that?
Oh, as a matter of fact, yeah. Oh, I have to tell you about it. You know, our sister station plays jingles, which are the same package as the Radio London jingles.
Really?
Yeah, we have more fun with those. Man.
We had some trouble from the people that make the jingles, but we eventually sorted that out. Because we stole those jingles.
Oh, but Bill Meeks is a nice man.
Yeah. Well, he was flattered and pleased that we used them, but he was kind of angry that we didn't pay him. So we eventually had to pay him.
Well, first for us anyway, the first time on our air that Peter Townshend has ever done a commercial live.
Right.
Good luck.
Here we go.
This one's for the Fillmore East, and it's for tonight and tomorrow night, May the 16th and 17th. We're going to be there. That's The Who, a band called Sweetwater. It's a Beautiful Day, and of course the Joshua Light Show, which has got to be one of the best, or the best. Coming on the 23rd of May and the 24th, there's Sly and the Family Stone, and that's one of my favourite groups, recording groups anyway. I've never seen them live. They're vegetarians, folks. For full ticket information, call 777 5260, 777-5260. This weekend, it's us, The Who, and Sweetwater. It's a Beautiful Day at the Fillmore East.
To make it a point, I have it on, well, let's put it this way. I don't have it as gospel information, but I understand there was an entire Boy Scout troop that was intending to go to the show tonight.
Really?
Yeah. Unfortunately, they had a hassle with their transportation, and they freed the tickets. So there may be some tickets left for tonight. I'm pretty sure tomorrow is sold out, but there may be some left for tonight.
That's good news.
You know, so check with the Fillmore. Give them the number again.
It's 777-5260.
Yeah, check them and see if there are any tickets left, and if there are, you really ought to make the show. I am.
Creedence difficult is getting people to talk to you on a let's put it this way. It's person to person, man to man sort of way, so that they don't have any preconceptions to you and aren't too apologetic to the fact that perhaps you're a bit tired or that you've just done a good show or a bad show or an indifferent show. And so it's very difficult to set up a kind of a good relationship, whereas telephone reduces everybody to their right size. And us included.
Puts them all in a bag, as Lennon would say.
And I think it's very important, you know.
I wanted to ask you something about the Magic Bus album, the Who on Tour. It's a very strange album for some reason.
It's a very disappointing album for us.
Well, there were things on it that were awfully
We were
nice.
disgusted at the time.
Why
we was in tears.
Why?
We were recording Tommy and we were enjoying it. They told us that had been released.
Yeah, we were kind of worried that all the talk that we'd gone into, a lot of heavy pre-hype on our new album that was going to be coming out. And with a lot of people, we were pulling punches. We weren't telling them what sort of album it was going to be. We were just sort of saying, but wait till you hear our next album, it's going to be best thing we've ever done. And out came Magic Bus. No, we've got a commitment to Decca Records to make a certain number of albums per year. And at that point, we were about 4 albums behind. So they just had to do it, you know. And we had to allow them to do it because Tommy was looked like taking another year at that point, and in fact did take another year, you know. When was that put out? That was put out last summer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or no, autumn of last year.
At any rate, in the middle of last year.
Well, our main complaint about that record was the cover. That kind of cover, you know, that just is not...
Who's greatest hits?
Well, that's an album I'd like to see.
The English cover's even worse.
The English cover's even worse, and I mean...
There's something interesting. Right now, one of my favorite cuts that I play is a Jimi Hendrix cut of Red House.
Yeah.
But you know that on the American edition of the Are You Experienced album, this cut did not appear.
This is something which I've heard about and which really amazes me.
But it seems like very often there are cuts on the British versions of an album that do not appear.
Well, there's a lot of reasons for this. There's a lot of reasons which kids probably wouldn't understand, and so they would kind of get uptight. One of the things is that you can get more minutes on an English album because the regulations are different. Mm-hmm. The other thing is that Red House is a number which has been rewritten, reworded, and the compositional credits have been credited to Jimmy, right? Mm-hmm. And in England and in Europe, the rights had folded for that song, but in the States they were still in existence. So in other words, you can play the English cut, and mm-hmm. I think that Red House will be out soon in this country, or probably
Warner Brothers has sent around I guess a pre-release type thing.
You know, I think that would
be
new
version
a big single for it, because it's good blues music.
I agree.
It's very good.
The new version, the one that's going to be released, I guess, is the one that I've been playing, and tremendous reaction to it. A lot of people.
That's good.
Well, let's go back to Magic Bus anyway for just a minute. That Eyesight To The Blind was taken originally from a blues song, and he couldn't remember offhand who had written it, and I didn't have the album handy.
Absolutely right. Yeah, we took this from we got it from a Mose Allison album called Mose Allison Sings, and we've always been a fan of Mose Allison. We play a song of his on the stage called Young Man Blues, which we like. And this cut was something which fell very much into the flow of the album. It's about a guy bragging about his girl, saying that she's so groovy and she's so special in every way that she can make the dumb speak, and she can make the blind see, and she can make the deaf hear. And this fitted in very well before a song called The Acid Queen, like he's introducing his wife. And we called it The Hawker, and it is credited to the guy that wrote it on the album, and that person is somebody called Sonny Boy Williamson.
Yeah, I should say that the reason that we couldn't tell right away who had written it is because we play our music off prepared tape cartridges, and I didn't have the album in front of me to check it out, or we would have settled it last night.
It's nice to have the cover, and particularly the words, to find out who's saying what at what particular time. It's difficult to tell the difference between our voices in The Who, and so we don't try to represent any particular characters individually, I mean, because it would be a waste of time. Nobody can tell the difference between our voices, even if we try.
So you make it a point to let people know.
So what happens is, when you read the words down, you can see like one chorus is being sung by Tommy's inner self, or one song is being sung by his mother, or this kind of thing. Just so that you roughly know where the action lies, and it helps to understand the story better too. So don't buy cartridge packs, folks. I don't know.
As a matter of fact, nowadays, the cartridge packs, the commercial cartridge packs, will probably have that material on it.
Yeah, that's good. Well, ours will be a twin pack, so there'll probably be quite a heavy amount of literature available with it. I hope so, because it's quite important to get it.
Did you say before, I don't recall whether it was on the phone or on the air, that with the album there comes a program
Yeah, this is what we was talking
This is what.
Oh, this
yeah,
is what's
and
on the
it's-
program.
Yeah, and it's got
illustrations.
illustrations and the words of the thing, and it just tells you who says what when. There's no explanations. We didn't want to lay it down too tight.
Well, again, thank you both. Welcome for the 7th time to the States.
Yeah, wow.
Where do you go from New York? You just came from Boston.
We came from Boston, before that Detroit, and we've really dug both towns very much. And we've played at the Grandie Ballroom before, but never at the Boston Tea Party, and that was a good place to play. And for one of the first times in our career, we're playing at the Fillmore without being too nervous about it, so it should be a good show.
Okay, I'll be there to see it, and I hope everybody else who can get in will.
Yeah.
Thanks. All right, take care. Have a good show tonight.
Yeah,
Thank you.
bye.